Years ago, in 1817, the first settlers, German settlers, came here to Georgia. They were invited by Tsar Alexander, who invited mostly skilled persons in Germany. Katharina, Tsar of Russia, she invited once everybody who wanted to come, and she had problems with it, so Alexander was a bit more cute and said only working social communities and skilled persons. And so settlers from Germany, they made their way down the Donau River to Black Sea, and via Odessa they came to Caucasus. They were mostly religious motivated, because we have had such a movement, we still have this movement in Germany, of people who really work hard in reading the Bible and try to understand what's written in the Bible. These are ordinary people, not studied in university, just working, and sometimes they even started to learn Hebrew and Greek language to read the Bible in the original languages. So they were really very strong believers and tried to find their way in faith. We call it pietismus. They wanted to be also more independent from the government in this time, which told them how and what to believe, and they didn't like this. This was one of the points. The other points why they came here was hard situation after the war with Bonaparte. The French soldiers occupied the country, and people starved because of this eruption of the volcano in Indonesia. In this time, for 2 years, there was no sun, and so they had nothing to eat. There was no food, and so they decided to move. They thought these were signs of the last days, of the last judge from God, and so they thought, well, when we are closer to the mountain of Ararat, in the Bible is written Noah landed with his boat, then they would have more chances to survive. So that's why they came here and brought their educations, their skills in winery and all this stuff with them. And well, in fact, they also brought very much new ideas of winery to Georgia. So the making wine in barrels, which are in caves, and not the duck as the Quevri here, this comes from them. When they started to build their community, they adopted the church structure as in Germany. So they built schools, praying houses, churches. Well, in 1940s, all the Germans in Caucasus were deported to Kazakhstan, Siberia, and well, we can say the German life almost stopped here. Only the ones who were married to Georgian people could stay, and only in the 50s, the Soviet Union allowed settlers to come back to develop the industry. So Rustavi, there were many non-Caucasus people from the Soviet Union brought there, and many also with German origin. They were refused to go back to their original place because, well, the houses were occupied by other people now. So this is understandable from the government that they didn't want to have the social tension there in these villages. Nowadays we are a church which is based on the Soviet German settlers, you may say, and that's why beside Georgian language and German language, the Russian language is still important in our church, because for many of our members who settled here from Soviet Union, Russian is the first language. Here we have the main church, you can say, which was situated in the Martianisvi Square. Plate remains on it, on the corner of the house. Then there was a church. It was the whole quarter was church areal. We still wait for we gave it a compensation or anything like this from state, that we can't get back this area. That's normal, but others got compensations, the Jews, the Muslims. We still wait. In Didube there was another big church. Here we see a picture of a funeral, which is also broken out. So there were two German villages on the territory of Tiflis, of today's Tiflis. So the church was closed, or there was no German church until now 25 years ago. In 75 there was the first partnership between a city of Western Europe, of Germany, and the city of the Soviet Union, Tbilisi. Well, when city parliaments say we want to be partners, there is no life in the partnership. So they look for who can put life in the partnership. And the one who was responsible for this partnership relations in Saarbrücken for the university was a man called Professor Hummel. He taught Protestant theology there in the university. And he was a pastor, a priest too, but when he started to make his work as a coordinator of the partnership, he did this just as a professor from the university. And he was responsible also for other partnerships between the University of Saarbrücken and other countries. He came here and nobody noticed that he was a Protestant theological professor. But in the 90s, when the ethnic group could meet again, they saw that this is a Protestant pastor and theological person. They came to him in the hotel and told him, well, you know, here are Germans too. And they showed him this place, which is the former graveyard for the Germans, and asked him to provide with them a worship in German language and a Lutheran worship, because, well, there were very few Lutheran pastors left in the former Soviet Union. When Pastor Hummel came and worshipped here with the people and got to know with them, well, he fell in love to the people here and to the Lutherans, and so he decided to come here and to build the church here in the early 90s. He made a foundation to build this church and to build the diaconry we have here in many cases. The motto of the Catholic monks of the Benedictine or the Benedictions was pray and work. And I think this is really important, that there are also actions and deeds which show what you believe. If I hit a people and say I love you, they won't believe it. So this has to fit together. And that's why we have a big effort in also diaconic and social work in several things. We have a senior home where we look for old people. We help people materially with food packages every month who can't live with their pension or the money they get from this state. We give also our members help when they need medical treatment or if someone dies. All these special situations which takes, well, asks more money from you as you have. Or we have a big social service which helps people at home which are lonely, old people or ill people who can't look for themselves. So this is quite a lot for this small church that we are. And we are glad that there are so many people in Germany supporting us so that we can do this service. This church wants to be a bridge, you can say, which helps people to come together, to find a way together, to live in peace together. Well, in fact, every church or Christian faith in basic is this conciliation with God, or stresses this out. And so we have these two directions, between people, between nations, between cultures, and also between other Christian ways. It's not only Lutheran way or only Orthodox way to approach God, or Baptist way or Catholic way. There are many different ways and many different possibilities to believe. And well, you have this saying, Boh lubit Trojice, God loves the Trinity, but he loves even more, not only Trinity, he loves variety. That's how he made people and mankind. The Lutheran faith says we can approach directly to God. There is nothing between us and God. So we don't, in fact, we even don't need the church as an organization between us and God, and we don't need the pastors between us and God. We can approach directly to the chief, to the boss. It first of all shows that this is a good hymn, that the Patriarch is a good musician and he made good music which touches people, and that's why we have music, and that you can't say this is just for Orthodox and this is just for Protestants, that this music is for everybody. There was a quite almost friendship between the founder of our church, Hummel, and the Patriarch. And Patriarch Ilya, he knows about our church, and so there is on this level there is a good acceptance, and yeah, still on this level a partnership. Well, church music in general is very important for Lutheran Church. Martin Luther, he made songs by himself. He put theological themes into these songs so people could learn it. So these songs helped them to learn about their faith. I made this in Germany that we have brass choirs in church, and they are now also immaterial heritage of German tradition, and well, something of face of Lutheran Church, you can say. And when I worked in Germany, I was responsible for these choirs. And so that's why I'm playing trumpet and bring this into the service too. A church which is in Lutheran use is only in Rustavi. In Bolnici, in Gardabani and Warszomi we have congregations where we have also worship every Sunday, but not in churches. Unfortunately, the Lutheran churches which still exist in Georgia, in Bolnici or in Azureti, we are not allowed to use it by the local popes or administration, because the house is still used in Bolnici as a sports hall, as a sports school. So we can't use it as it should be used as liturgic house. This is a pity, but yeah, we are working on it. Well, but in fact, this is also one of the points of Lutheran faith. Church is a building where people can come together, where you can calm down, when you have a special atmosphere, where you can sit in silence and pray and meditate. This is very important, but we also can worship in private homes or in the nature, yeah, where 2 or 3 people are coming together. There's God with them, and they can also worship.